In the last video, I was talking about contentment and the idea of enough versus the culture of more. And in this video, I want to get into a little more nitty gritty. I want to go to a deeper level. I want to take that concept and I want to talk about the boomers. And the reason I want to talk about the boomers is that they didn't come up with this whole culture of more, but they bought it hook, line, and sinker. And money aside and career aside, the lack of contentment, I think, was more evident in the relationships of the boomer generation than this is just my opinion, than in the relationships of their predecessors, Gen X, millennials, so forth. Almost every boomer that I know experienced or committed some kind of infidelity. And in the pursuit of their own happiness, they couldn't be satisfied with the spouse that they had or the kids that they had. And now, if they're still around, they regret it deeply. Why was it so prevalent? It's prevalent now. I mean, adultery and infidelity is prevalent now as well. But what I think is really interesting is that I wonder if the existence of the internet and social media has been kind of a check against that kind of behavior, because now when you do something, it's a lot harder to keep it secret and your shame can go viral instantly. That wasn't the case in the 80s and 90s, where you could have long-term secret affairs, keep them easily hid. And so I'm wondering if maybe the internet and social media, at least one check in the pros box, the pros column, is that it makes one a little more apprehensive to commit the foul deeds of infidelity or adultery. I would like to know what you think about that. The temptations are still here in my generation. Anyone who's married is going to come to a point in their relationship with their spouse where they're going to wonder, what would it be like if it was someone else? And like Paul said, you got to take every thought into captivity. And this is the fork in the road mentally, where you choose contentment and peace, or wild imaginings and dangerous thoughts, expressions, and actions. I think contentment in relationships is really, people aren't disposable. In the previous generations, before the internet and social media, there was actually a lot more socialization. And I think there was a different, I think generally in American culture, life was valued a little more than it is now. But now, instead of highly socialized people in society that value human life, now we don't seem to have empathy. We don't value life as much. We're not as socialized, but we're also not falling into the same patterns of infidelity as much, traditionally speaking. But there are other new patterns of self-destructive sexual behaviors. Violence is also, it seems like a bigger problem now than it used to be. And violence in itself results from wrath, anger, lack of contentment. It's a different world. And I remember, I have legs straddling both sides of the fence, before the internet existed and now, after the internet existed. And I've really lived about half of my life before the internet. And the second half of my life has been post-internet. And relationships have definitely changed. How we engage in those relationships and communicate has definitely changed. Expectations have changed. I've changed quite a bit. I don't think my values haven't changed, but they've reorganized. I've always had the same values. My interests certainly change over time. The thing that I hated of the world, the thing that I hated about life before the internet was that there was no YouTube. There was no like making videos like this and having an audience of people that might appreciate watching it and having some of the same thoughts and having dialogue that didn't exist. It does now, and it's wonderful. But would I give it all up to go back and live through the 80s and 90s again? Yeah, I would. It was a good time. It was a good time. But the secret sins, the infidelity that destroyed families and relationships back then that I don't see as much of now, at least me personally. I don't know if I'd want to go back to that. It's hard. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. I liked the analog nature of the pre-internet world, for sure. I liked the highly socialized nature of society. And the conveniences of technology today, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. I could care less. But I do like that the internet has afforded people a way to conduct their own commerce, make money for themselves, and have a following, and share their art form, and yada, yada, yada. It can go on and on and on. But so I think the internet's been a good thing. I'm content with where I am now. I'm not looking for a bigger expression of, I'm not looking for accolades anymore as I approach 50. I don't care about degrees, accomplishments, none of that stuff. I didn't chase any of that. I mean, I have a bachelor's, but I didn't chase anything after that. I have a career, but I'm not like trying to chase some huge accomplishment or title, and I'm happy with it. And I'm kind of at a place like right now where, at least in my work, if someone came to me and they offered me a promotion, I don't think I'd want it. I like what I do. I don't want to do something new and different. I want to continue doing what I'm good at, and I want to get better at it. And I like it. It's on autopilot for me right now, and it's great. It allows my mind in the off hours to do things like this and to be with my family and not have to worry about what's next. So anyway, this is Contentment Part 2. I hope you guys liked it. You might disagree with my opinions about infidelity before the internet versus after. But these are just my observations, and would love to know your thoughts. That's all I got. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.